All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. NASCAR has made the decision to grant Kyle Larson the waiver that he needed in order to compete for the playoffs. Now, Larson's status was up in the air after being unable to, or just not participating in the Coca Cola 600 on Memorial Day weekend, like being unable to, or just not participating, whatever camp that you want to be in on the matter. But let's look at it. Larson was attempting the double as he was seeking to become just the fifth driver to race in both the Indy 500 and the Coca Cola 600 in the same day. Now, rain unfortunately altered those plans as the start of the Indianapolis 500 was delayed about 4 hours, which meant that Larson would miss the start of the 600. Now, Larson made the decision to remain in Indianapolis for the 500 due to all of the work that had been put in by McLaren to get him ready to race. And he did have a solid race, finished 18th, first time in an IndyCar race. And honestly, the only mistake that he made was coming down pit road, which, he suffered that drive through penalty. Okay. Now, Justin Allgaier, okay, started in Lawson's place in Charlotte, and Larson did arrive to take his place mid race, but at that point the race was halted due to the rain. So NASCAR didn't have to, okay, but they did grant Larson their waiver, and per their rules, it was one of those things. It was the right move. I mean, basically, you've got to be the guy starting in the car, for all of the races in order to qualify for the playoff. But Larson's done his part. I mean, you look at it, you're talking about a guy that, he has 2 wins this season. Only Denny Hamlin has more points than him this season. And clearly he's one of your better drivers. So you can't have a tournament without the best of the best. And Larson has proved this season that he is one of the better drivers in NASCAR. Now, what Larson was attempting to do was an amazing feat, but it also brings positive attention to auto racing. You're seeing it wasn't the first time that a driver attempted this. I totally get it, but bringing NASCAR and IndyCar together, okay, and you think about it, that Sunday before Memorial Day, arguably the biggest racing day of the year. You got Formula One over in Monaco, the Indianapolis 500, and then of course the Coca Cola 600. And to me, I could understand where NASCAR is coming from because they're worried about opening up Pandora's box on the waiver. I totally get that standpoint, but again, you can't have the playoff without one of your best drivers. And I think this is one of those special exceptions for this. So I think this is going to make everybody over at Hendrick Motorsports rest a little easier for the rest of the year, including Kyle Larson. And I think he's going to continue to have a another phenomenal year, or continue to add to his phenomenal year. And then on top of that, like I said, he's going to be in the playoff, and I would not be surprised to see him come back and race in the Indy 500 again next year. I mean, he, for the most part, held his own. Like I said, he finished the race, and it was just that one hiccup going down pit road. That was the only thing that set him back in this one. So I think Larson's going to be back, and I think again, what we saw is very good for auto racing, for IndyCar and NASCAR. CJ, what's going on, my man? Yeah, definitely. I got some stuff on the back burner to talk about MLB, and I'll definitely be touching on that very, very soon. But getting back to Mr. Larson, one of the best drivers out there in NASCAR, and like I said before, not to sound like a broken record, but you can't have your postseason tournament without the top people in your field. Kyle Larson definitely has checked all of those boxes. Like I said, I think he can rest easier, drive better, if that's possible so far this season, and put his head down and contend for the cup. But folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now, you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.